I'm Elex Michaelson, and this week the issue is basketball. With us in studio, Metta World Peace to talk hoops, mental health, and his support of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Plus, we visit Harvey Levin at TMZ to discuss his new joint sit-down with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. A very special edition of The Issue Is starts right now.
Broadcasting across California, you're watching The Issue Is.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next Vice President of the United States, Nicole Shanahan.
When Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s campaign announced the VP selection, Nicole Shanahan, in Oakland, they asked Metta World Peace to be the one to officially introduce her. Since winning a championship for the Lakers, go Lakers, Metta World Peace has become a philanthropist, an activist, mental health reformer, and he's back here on The Issue Is. Great to see you, Metta. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
I think a lot of people were probably surprised to see you on stage as the guy in that moment. Why RFK Jr. for you?
Well, it's just been an incredible experience to have a potential president reach out to me and actually ask me my opinions and different things on social impact and on wellness. I thought that was incredible. I think I bring a lot to the table with public service. I've been pushing public service for a long time, and I want to continue to serve America.
But why him particular? What drew you to him?
Well, I think what drew me to him, he reached out, right?
Yeah.
He found me interesting, and we developed a really great friendship. He's such a great guy. You know, we went on hikes together, had conversations together. Obviously, I was in Oakland, and he really values, you know, my opinion, such as a lot of people think I've been doing in wellness. So I really consider myself one that serves the public of America in a different form and aspect. So, but it wasn't, no other president ever reached out to me. I did get an award from Biden, from the Biden administration. They sent me a volunteer award, which is great. It's always exciting. As a kid, you look at the presidential, what that means and what that symbolizes. When I was a kid, it's something special. So for you to be able to be in the loop and in the mix of politics at that level is incredible.
What did you tell him about mental health reform that you want to see be done on a bigger scale?
You know, I want to see America do well, and I really believe with literacy and wellness, finance, education, and really helping not only the youth, but the adults. A lot of our adults have not had a reference points on how to be a good parent. You know, not because we don't want to be, or not because we don't want to treat our partner with respect. It hasn't been a reference point. So all that is education to me.
So you introduced Nicole Shanahan to the world. It's you. What was that moment like for you, and what was she like? Because a lot of people don't know much about her, his VP pick, who is from Oakland.
I think it's incredible. You know, she has a background in tech, a background in scaling and servicing from a tech perspective. And, you know, initially when I was introducing her, I didn't know what to do. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to introduce her. I'm going to step off, you know, and then give the stage to her. As you can see, I was only in like a small shot with her, but what an honor. And I actually had the flu. I called Robert that morning and I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. I don't want to get you sick. He said, I don't get sick. I said, okay, I'll be on Southwest.
Well, we know he's not vaccinated, but that's a whole other thing. Right? So, and something you've been very, very open about is your own battle with depression, with anxiety. You've been very open about the fact how therapy has helped you.
Right.
And when you won the championship, the first thing you talked about was thanking your psychiatrist at the time.
I definitely want to thank my doctor, Dr. Sandy, my psychiatrist.
What do you want other people to know about that in terms of your activism, in terms of your message to lawmakers, in terms of mental health?
Well, I want to just, without money, in 2010 alone, when I announced I want to thank my psychiatrist on national television, and people laughed at that time, but look at the movement that we created. Capitol Hill with Congresswoman Grace Napolitano. We brought the lime green color to Capitol Hill, with now mayor's lime green the color, right? We also look at all the sports organizations that have mental health therapists, you know, mandated to be there. And look at the wellness in the workplace here in America, and now globally, look where wellness is going. Look where mental health is going. It's like a hot trending topic right now, and I feel like I was at the beginning of that. And just from my perspective, what I would have to say, one, I would love a meeting with lawmakers, because I think I have great perspective on really empowering and moving the needle, by percentages, really making a difference. I think I have great concepts and perspectives.
And what is your message to the person out there who maybe is afraid, embarrassed, sad to talk about this sort of thing?
Yeah.
What do you say to them?
Well, I know initially when I was coming out, because I was going through a lot publicly, and so I said, you know what, I'm just going to be vulnerable. And people laughed and said, Metta's whatever. But I feel like when you're vulnerable, you're actually stronger. Like, you should not feel bad about empowering yourself. So if you're telling somebody you see a therapist, you're actually empowering yourself, but you're gonna give that good energy out to the world. So, if you need to seek help in any which way or form, I would encourage it.
And have you had a moment, I'm sure you have many, where people have thanked you for that? And how does that make you feel? Can you describe one of those? I
had so many moments where therapists would call me, email me, LinkedIn, and just tell me, thank you, my client is more inclined to take more sessions. I'm getting more accounts. Some therapists thank me because their bank account is going up. And then on the street randomly, I had people come up to me and said, I want to thank you for being so open.
That's so cool. Something else you've been real involved in for a long time before it was cool.
Yes.
Was women's basketball.
Yes.
You're the coach right now at Cal State LA, coach the women's basketball team.
Yes.
Obviously, that sport is having a moment right now.
Yes.
Thanks in large part to Caitlin Clark,
yes.
Who's just became the #1 pick in the WNBA draft this week. How do you reflect on this moment of women's basketball finally getting their due?
It's exciting. So my dad runs a girls basketball foundation program in New York City. My brother Daniel Artest does only women's basketball podcasts. He's been doing that for 8 years. I've been coaching women's basketball while I was playing with the Lakers. I would leave Lakers practice, go to Palisades and coach the girls' high school team with my head coach, Torino Johnson. He then went to Cal State LA. I followed him as a volunteer coach, 6 a.m. practices every day. And I want to say, and I also have a women's program here in Los Angeles that I had since 2018, a local women's basketball program. So we've been involved early.
Yeah.
And I just want to be able to, I just smile about that.
Yeah. you were cool before it was cool. So, but now that it is cool,
right.
How do you reflect on that moment, and what do you think that especially guys can take from watching this?
Well, they're exciting, they're executing, the fundamentals is there. I mean, I would like to have seen Caitlin's contract not at $75,000 per year, being that she, had 18 million people watch the game. Mm-hmm. So I would like to have seen that contract at about $500,000. That would have been nice. It's really incredible what women's sports is doing. What
drew you to the game when so many other people sort of mocked the game?
I love it. I mean, obviously coaching women is different, but I like it because the execution, the teamwork. It is a different game because they're not playing above the rim. There's a girl in high school, her name is Toby. She's playing above the rim. She's probably the highest jumper we'll see. She will dunk with 2 hands backwards in the game. But it's a different game in general with women. So, you're coaching fundamentals, footwork, and that's what I love.
So the last time you were here, we asked you who your favorite teammate of all time was, and you said Kobe Bryant. And, and unfortunately, of course, since you've been here, we lost Kobe Bryant. As a coach, as somebody who talks about basketball, what is the most important lesson you learned from Kobe?
The most important lesson I learned from Kobe is repetition. I asked him one time, I said, where do you get your confidence from? And he says, repetition. And I'm like, wow, that makes sense. And that's and just Kobe, he followed that mantra throughout his career.
Yeah, and how did he teach you and touch you personally?
Personally, he just gave me time. He did call me the greatest defensive player ever. So one of the greatest said, I'm the greatest. I didn't say it, he said it. I mean, stuff like that just makes me just be reassured that I started to play basketball for a reason.
And now you're at a really exciting moment in your life. Not only are you a dad and a granddad, but you're about to become a dad again. Yep. You're about to have a newborn. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
How has fatherhood shaped you? And what are you thinking about now as you're about to welcome another new life into this world?
Well, I was 16 when I had my first child. And it wasn't an accident. I actually planned it with my ex-wife. We've known each other for a long time. We're still friends to this day and partners. On companies. I since then got divorced, and it's been a 21-year gap between, my youngest child and my new child. And my new child is younger than 2 of my grandchildren. So I'm American for real.
Yeah. How do you think about that? What's that going to be like? I mean, it's very Modern Family, right?
I'm a Modern Family. I mean, Modern Family in real life.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
I'm excited.
Well, congratulations to you on that. We do a game on this show called Personal Issues, where we get to know some of your cultural favorites. It's the first thing that comes to mind, and let us know what it is. So what is your favorite TV show right now?
My favorite TV show, anything with poker after dark.
Okay. Who's your favorite male basketball player?
My favorite male basketball player is Kawhi Leonard.
Favorite female basketball player?
Favorite female basketball player is probably Grace Burgess from the Indiana Fever.
Who's your favorite musical artist?
My favorite musical artist is Alberta Hunter.
Okay, we've got to check that out. Who is your role model?
My role model is the energy of the streets, the positive energy of the streets, because I grew up kind of differently and I needed to find that energy, and it's just good energy from people.
I love that. So when you were here with us 4 years ago, we played a little basketball back then.
Yeah, I remember.
And you showed me a thing or two. Here's a clip of that. So a little later on in the show, you're going to be back with us in front of our hoop, and we're going to have some fun with that. Harvey Levin from TMZ is up next, but we go to break with music. We love to play music on this show, so we thought, why not play your music?
Oh, that's incredible.
So this is you as a rapper with the song Represent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is a throwback, Metta World Peace, and check out that body,
wow.
right? Yeah.
Who is that guy? That's Ron Artest. That's not Metta.
I know you supported Arnold when he ran for governor.
I did.
What I'm wondering is, did you do it so you could get him out of the movie business?
Yes, actually.
TMZ's Harvey Levin brings together Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger in the new documentary, Arnold and Sly, Rivals, Friends, and Icons, airing Tuesday on Fox. They discuss Arnold's run for governor.
Did you ever have a plan B?
No. As a matter of fact,
There you go.
in my book, Be Useful, I talk about don't have a plan B. There is no such thing
There you
as a
go.
plan B.
We met up with Harvey at TMZ's headquarters in Los Angeles, where they put this documentary together.
Harvey Levin, welcome back to The Issue Is. So good to see you and great to be here.
Great seeing you, and welcome.
Congratulations on the documentary. I loved it. This idea of
Thank
getting
you.
Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger in the same room at the same time. Where did this idea come from? What's the backstory here?
You know, it's funny. In a way, the backstory goes back to 1976. When I graduated from law school, I spent a year in Miami, and then I came back here to practice law. And I worked out at a gym in Hollywood. And there was this dude at the gym that I would say hi to now and then. And we talked a little bit, and I talked to him on a Friday. On Monday, he was the biggest star in the world. It was Sylvester Stallone.
Okay.
And Rocky had come out over the weekend. And I had no idea about this.
Wow.
So it's always been really impactful for me just to have watched that. And I was practicing law. I wasn't doing this.
Yeah.
And so I always thought about his rise. And then Arnold is Arnold. I mean, my God, I'm following him as the governor and the movie star and everything else he's done. And then we end up at the same gym as well. And I was just thinking, wow, to put these two together, given their history and this bitter rivalry that turned into this amazing friendship, I just felt like this would be a great opportunity.
I mean, I think what was obviously entertaining was watching them talk about their rivalry and going back and forth and ribbing each other.
I think you were overpaid, but don't say anything.
The son of a bitch.
But what I thought was the most captivating was how emotional both of them got
We're more emotional than a lot of more dramatic actors, trust me.
when discussing their own backgrounds and especially discussing their childhoods.
Did you notice how different they are and how differently they processed that and other things? That when you listen to Sly, there is a sadness that comes into recounting his childhood, and he talks about the sadness and how it affected him, and he's never been able to shed it. Arnold is a very different guy. Arnold is the kind of guy that just moves forward, and he doesn't let that kind of drag him down.
And it was interesting and even different the way that they process reviews.
When you get bad reviews, they hurt.
I remember when we did the villain
Yeah.
with Kirk Douglas and Anne Margaret, they said to me, the horse had better facial expressions than I had. I mean, what the hell?
Loved that.
Sly.
Loved that.
Really?
And he just laughed and he said, I don't care. And Sly was just, oh my God, this is just, it's terrible.
What was the biggest surprise for you of actually getting the two of them together?
That they were so deferential to each other.
I loved, when he did Rambo. I loved when he did Rocky.
In my business, I see a lot of people who are really self-involved and that they process things about them. These guys process things about each other. They really respect and like each other.
And it was clear that you respect and like both of them and had this emotional moment yourself talking about how seeing them take big risks encouraged you to take big risks.
It's really true.
You didn't explain which big risks those are. What are some of those risks that you did in your life after seeing them?
Well, TMZ. I mean, honestly, everybody, there was only one person who thought this was a good idea. That was Ryan Seacrest. Ryan may regret that now. But everybody told me this is crazy. Why would you do? Because we started as an online, we started online.
Right.
And everybody said, God, you're a TV guy. Why would you do that? And I took a chance. And honestly, when, I knew about Sly's story, that, he was willing to give up Rocky if it wasn't done on his terms. I knew Arnold's story, that, he could have had a comfortable life in Austria, and he'd take $20 in a backpack and came to the United States, and he would just move forward. That's inspiring. Mm-hmm. It's really inspiring.
Yeah, and you look around here and everything that's built here, and you get now 18 million page views a month from different people, unique users. I mean, that's crazy if you really think about it.
No, I mean, we're doing well, but what I've learned, and partly from them, is that you have to accept failure in order to succeed. And that, if you're so cautious and fearful and you never make a bold move, you won't fail, but you won't succeed either.
Up next,
Oh God, you want to open that door, huh?
Harvey gets personal in ways he never has before. In TMZ's new documentary, Arnold and Sly, Harvey Levin gets Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone to open up about their difficult childhoods. When you were talking about the childhood trauma, you mentioned that you had your own tough childhood. What were you referring to?
Oh God, you want to open that door, huh? I mean, my parents really struggled, and they owned a liquor store, and they were gone most. I mean, the store opened at 7 in the morning and they closed at 2 in the morning, so they were gone a lot. And in terms of discipline, it was old school, and it was just a different time. And they did to me what was done to them, and they didn't know any better. And so, that part. It's funny. It wasn't rough at the time. It's rough looking back, because you have no frame of reference when you're in it. And I'm not saying it wasn't. I don't want to overblow it, but everybody has their stuff.
So you're suggesting that they hit you because a lot of other people were hit at the time too.
And that's just the way it was.
And so they talked about the fact that that sort of experience shaped them. How do you think that shaped you? Did that propel you?
Well, the huge benefit for me, and not so much that, but the benefit for me just in terms of watching my parents, who really, they worked really hard so that me and my brother could have a better life. And they gave me my work ethic. Absolutely gave me my work ethic. But the fact that they were gone so much, we lived next door to the liquor store. So it's not like they were in a different state, but they were in the store a lot. And when I was at home, I was alone a lot. And what it gave me was independence. And there is a real value in not being afraid of kind of being on your own, of independence. And I think, there are, you can't look at something about your life and say, I mean, I suppose there are things you can, but a lot of times there's some good and some bad in everything. And sometimes kids who get loved and coddled, they have problems, right? I mean, they have problems.
I know.
And, oh, you want to talk about it?
Well, that could be my problem. Sometimes I think I've been a little over-coddled sometimes.
But that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
I got the opposite issue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that creates problems. So I think you just try to use the tools that you get. And I'm really grateful overall for it, because I think that some of the stuff that was challenging ends up, in a weird way, being a benefit.
By the way, I was 18 days late in terms of giving birth, and I like to say that I still don't want to have the umbilical cord.
Well, you're close. You're very close to your parents.
Still clinging on. You can watch the full interview right now at youtube.com/Elex Michaelson. Up next, here on The Issue is
You got me.
playing basketball with Metta World Peace.
Right, so now.
We are back. When Metta World Peace visited us back in 2019, he showed off his considerable basketball skills and showed me a thing or two. Not only, of course, is he a world champion, he's also a great coach. And Metta is back with us now. I think I've put on a few pounds since back then, but that's okay.
Absolutely, I got a problem now.
But it's good to have you here. So if you were teaching, which you do all the time, the most important fundamentals, what can we learn? What's your advice?
I want to teach the Pau Gasol spin move.
Okay, we love Pau Gasol, one of your teammate champions.
So we're in the post, good angle with the basket.
So I'm guarding you.
You're guarding me.
Yeah.
Right elbow in my back.
Okay.
Right elbow
in your back.
Right, so now on offense, you have the ball and you want to go away from pressure. So give me some pressure.
All right.
Now what Pau would do, he would fill you kind of like MJ, spin off. One dribble, take up space right here.
Okay.
And that's a easy layup.
There it is.
So let's once you feel the pressure, you spin baseline right there.
There it is.
Pau Gasol
There
one-on-one.
it is.
Great move and great lesson for everybody out there.
There we go. Can you dunk it?
Let's try it.
Okay.
I am a little heavier now.
All right.
Oh,
There it is.
I'm ready for the Lakers.
Metta World Peace.
12-day
Bring him
contract.
in. Bring him in. Thank you so much for watching. The Issue is Metta World Peace. Thanks for all the activism that you do.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next week with more.